Introduction. The methods of algebra are an extension of those used in arithmetic. In algebra we use letters and symbols as well as numbers to represent quantities. Use of symbols. We can use letters to represent an amount of something. £10 is a statement that shows there are 10 of pounds. Pound H is a general statement that covers any number we choose to substitute H for. Use of symbols. For example, if H was 3, then we would have £3. If H was 346, then we would have £346. If we had pound H and added an extra pound, we would have pound H plus 1. Algebraic expressions. Addition. Can you write a phrase that would be the sum of two amounts? If the two amounts were pound X and pound Y, then the sum of the two amounts would be pound X plus pound Y. We cannot say that the total of X pounds plus Y pounds is Z pounds, or give it any numeric figure. All we can say now is X pounds plus Y pounds. Algebraic expressions. Multiplication. Here is another example. I give someone 3 times a number of sweets. Let n stand for the number of sweets. Therefore, I gave 3 lots of n, or 3n. Algebraic expressions. Division. One number can be divided by another using algebraic expressions. Let A stand for the first number and B stand for the second. What expression could I write to show this division? A divided by B. This expression cannot involve any other figure or letter because we need to use the letters already used. Example. During a recent visit to the supermarket, I purchased the following products: 3 apples, 4 bananas, 5 carrots, 6 donuts, 2 envelopes. Needing to record this information on a very small piece of paper, I decided to abbreviate each of these items to a suitable letter. 3 apples became 3A, 4 bananas became 4B, 5 carrots became 5C, 6 donuts became 6D, 2 envelopes became 2E. The next day I bought 5A in the morning and then another 2A in the afternoon. So overall I bought 5A plus 2A equals 7A. I then ate 3A. How many A's do I now have? 7A minus 3A equals 4A. Now try this expression. In the morning I bought 4B and 3D. In the afternoon I bought another 2B and 5D. How many do I now have? 4B plus 3D plus 2B plus 5D equals 6B plus 8D. In the last expression, you counted the number of donuts separately to the bananas. This is called collecting terms. Do you know what a term is? A term is a collection of numbers, letters and brackets, all multiplied or divided together. Terms are always separated by plus and minus signs, which are attached to the front of them. Put a ring around them to help you. 6A plus 5B minus 4A plus 8B minus 2B. All the A terms can be collected together and all the B terms can be collected together. What does the expression now become? Plus 6A minus 4A and plus 5B plus 8B minus 2B, which equals 2A plus 11B. Finding the numerical value of an algebraic expression is called substitution. How is this done? This is done by substituting the values represented by the letters. Substitution can be explained using apples and bananas. Example, we have 5A and 3B. Each apple, A, is 25p, and each banana, B, is 40p. This can be expressed as 5 lots of 25p plus 3 lots of 40p equals 5 times 25 plus 3 times 40 equals 125 plus 120, which equals 245. The quantity A times A times A, or AAA, is usually written as A cubed, which is called the third power of A. The number 3 tells us that A should be multiplied itself 3 times. What is this called? This is called the index. Index numbers. Index numbers are a quicker and simpler way of expressing the number of times something needs to be multiplied by itself. For example, it is much easier to write 9 to the power of 5 than 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. Just as the index number tells us the amount of times a number must be multiplied by itself, it also tells us the number of times a letter is to be multiplied by itself. For example, 9 to the power of 5 equals 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. A to the power of 5 equals A times A times A times A times A. If B equals 4 and C equals 2, B cubed equals B times B times B equals 4 times 4 times 4 equals 64. B squared C cubed equals B times B times C times C times C equals 4 times 4 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 128. What would 8mn cubed look like in expanded form? 8 times m times n times n times n. Use of brackets. Why are brackets used? Brackets are used for convenience in grouping terms together. When removing brackets, each term within the brackets needs to be multiplied by the quantity outside the bracket. In the example below, the 3 is multiplied in turn by each of the terms in the brackets. 3 x plus y equals 3x plus 3y. In the example below, the a is multiplied in turn by each of the terms in the brackets. A 2 minus 3a equals 2a minus 3a squared. Have a go at this one. X 2x plus 3 equals 2x squared plus 3x. Remember, x multiplied by x equals x squared. Can you remember the rules of multiplying symbols? A minus multiplied by a minus equals a positive. A positive multiplied by a positive equals a positive. A minus multiplied by a positive equals a minus. A positive multiplied by a minus equals a minus. All you need to remember is when multiplying or dividing by the same sign, the answer is always positive. When the signs are different, the answer is always negative. Multiplying out brackets. When multiplying out brackets, you may have 2 or more letters that need multiplying together. The only way of doing this is to just remove the multiplication sign and leave them alongside each other. For example, A times B equals AB. P times Q equals PQ. 3 times S times T equals 3ST. The rule is: numbers come first in each expression, followed by each letter in alphabetical order. What is a formula? A formula is something used in everyday life for arriving at a number. The number can be anything from a price to a figure to a quantity. Costing. Let's look at an example. A builder charges £4 for each hour worked. What if we had an invoice for an amount and wanted to work out how many hours he worked? 4 lots of H hours plus £10 equals £26. This is a formula that could be used each time to make it easier for him to calculate his invoices. We could use trial and error to find out how many extra hours it took him. 1 times 4 plus 10 equals 14. Incorrect. 2 times 4 plus 10 equals 18. Incorrect. 3 times 4 plus 10 equals 22. Incorrect. 4 times 4 plus 10 equals 26. Correct. So how many hours did he work? He worked 4 hours at £4. You will meet many standard formulae that are used in everyday life. None more so than speed equals distance divided by time. Every time you travel in a car, you look at the speedometer and use a formula. Even though you eventually get used to distances and times, it never occurs that maths has played a part in your calculations. You have to travel to Leeds on the motorway. The typical average speed on the motorway is 70 miles per hour. You are 140 miles from Leeds. How long will it take you? To help you remember this, it can be expressed in a triangle. Use your finger to cover the variable that you wish to find. This leaves the two variables you know. For this example, time equals distance divided by speed. Using d, distance, as 140 miles and s, speed, as 70 miles per hour, the time it will take you is 140 miles divided by 70 miles per hour, which equals 2 hours. What if you know the speed and time variables but want to find the distance? You would cover the d of the triangle with your finger. The resultant calculation is speed times time equals distance. This is because they are alongside each other in the triangle, rather than one above the other. So, formula is just a nice name for creating a rule which can be used over and over again. Solving equations means finding the value of x from an expression such as 5x minus 2 equals 22 minus 3x. The most important part of a formula is the equal symbol. What does the equals mean? It means equivalent to. Anything written on one side of the equation must equal that on the other side, though often in another format. Whatever you choose to do to one side of the equal sign, you must do to the other. In order to solve any equation, we need to alter it into the format of the unknown equals a value. Let's start with an easy example. X plus 3 equals 10. We want to change this equation into the form of x equals a number. Because there is a number on the same side of the equal sign as the x, we need to lose it somehow. Let's try this example. X plus 3 equals 10. Because there is a plus 3, we need to get rid of it, so we could take it away. X plus 3 minus 3 equals 10 minus 3. This leaves x equals 7. Remember, always do the same to both sides of the equal sign. We can solve two-stage equations in the same way. For example, we can solve 2x plus 6 equals 12. Look to get rid of the whole number addition first before tackling the multiplication. 2x plus 6 minus 6 equals 12 minus 6. 2x equals 6. X equals 6 divided by 2. X equals 3. Sometimes the equation might look mixed up, and it will need resorting to make the unknown value the subject of the equation. Let's work through an example. Make x the subject of this formula. Y equals 5x plus 3. Change over sides. 5x plus 3 equals y. Subtract the 3. 5x equals y minus 3. Divide by the 5. X equals y minus 3 divided by 5.